Alright guys, today we are doing CHING number 52 is what we're on. So we're gonna start in with where I left off, which I say that every single time I make one of these videos, but that's what we're doing. So where we started off was this was a Toledo smudge pot. I have sold, you guys probably saw these in some past CHINGs. I had 4 of them, 2 green, 2 red. This one was a red one that sold. I feel like there's one more that you'll see in a CHING, but they're gone. We sold every single one of these, and they all sold for, I believe, the same price of $58.99. I can barely read my own handwriting sometimes. Like normally when I'm writing down all of my stuff, I'm like practically scribbling. I'm trying to do it like so quickly. Anyway. Eric won all 4 of these at an auction, and all 4 of them have sold. So that's awesome because they were kind of big. It took up some space. So it's nice when the bigger stuff sells to make room for other things. So the next thing that sold was a piece of jewelry. This was the cat and or fox necklace. I still am not quite sure if it was a cat or a fox. I think it was a cat. It was a green kind of enamel. It looked like kind of like stained glass looking necklace. I got this at a yard sale. I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $12.99. I like when I do look at jewelry, I'm just more naturally drawn to like things that are shaped like things and things that are shaped like things. I'm drinking coffee, if you guys haven't noticed already by the start of this video. What was I even talking about? Wow, this is gonna be an annoying video. I apologize. Anyway, the jewelry that I'm drawn to is just the stuff that's, you know, a little more unique looking, I guess you'd say. Next we have a footed ceramic trinket dish. This I won at an auction. It was on the same tray as a couple Limoges pieces. I sold all the Limoges pieces. This one was not marked in any way, shape, or form Limoges, and I don't think that it was Limoges in any way, shape, or form either. That sold for $19.99. I have a thing for trinket boxes. I don't know. I like buying them. There's just certain things that you just naturally gravitate towards, and trinket boxes are kind of one of those things that I like to pick up. This next item was a glass pumpkin. This was absolutely beautiful. That blue and white swirled pumpkin, you guys probably saw me pick this up in a yard sale video. This sold for $29. I put it on auction because I wasn't quite sure what to ask for it. I'm pretty sure I paid $1 for it, maybe a little more than that. But definitely less than $5. I can't remember what price I paid for it. But with this pumpkin, and I think I said when I hauled this that I wasn't sure like how to tell, you know, who made it, who it was made by, and that kind of thing. If it was like a recent thing, like if it was something that would have been sold at like a home decor store like TJ Maxx or Home Goods or something like that, or if it was like a more expensive, that's not a word, a more expensive piece. So I put it on auction and it sold for $29. So I thought that was a great price. Next we have a Harley-Davidson motorcycle repair manual. This one was by a company called Clymer. That sold for $19.99. Eric purchased this at a yard sale, and I think he did pay $4 for it. That same day we bought that Harley-Davidson manual, we bought 2 other ones, and those were worth a lot more, and one of them did sell, but that's not in this CHING. You will see it in another CHING. Alright, next we have, I need a drink. Coffee just does it for me. Alright, next we have, okay, here's a VHS tape to keep your eye out for, though I don't know if you'll ever come across these. This was a Today's Special VHS tape. This sold for $49.99. So Today's Special was an old television show that came out in the 80s. I think it was based in Canada, I want to say. I forget what network it was on. I'm thinking it was Nickelodeon, but Because I remember watching Today's Special. I remember watching Pinwheel. Do you guys remember that show? Like when I was like super duper young, but I remember them. And Today's Special was one of my favorite shows to watch. It was just magical at such a young age. So that VHS actually belonged to me. I sent away for this. This was back when like you would mail order stuff from catalogs. Gosh, I miss those days when you would like patiently wait for your mail and you have to like mail in your check or money order or well-concealed cash. Do y'all remember sending well-concealed cash through the mail? You don't do that anymore, do you? VHS. So yeah, if you would ever happen to come across these, they are definitely ones to look out for. If anyone is like, this brought up some sort of nostalgic memory for you and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that show, I want to watch that show again, there are episodes on YouTube that you can watch for free. Obviously the quality isn't that great, but the quality of the VHS tape probably isn't that great either, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, if you want like a nostalgia overload, go look that up on YouTube. Next we have a pair of denim 24/7 capris. These sold for $15.99 and they came out of the Facebook Marketplace garbage bag of clothing. Next is a Ralph Lauren shirt. This was new with tags. I got this at a yard sale and I think I paid $1 for it. That sold for $15.99. It was a size extra small and those sizes just do not sell very well for me. But I picked it up because it was new with tag, but it did take a while to sell. I sold a Disney little trinket dish. This said the holidays are swell and it had Mickey on it. That sold for $13.99 and I got that at a yard sale for $1. I actually have a much larger version of that I haven't listed yet, so I need to get that up because I had it for a while and I still haven't listed it. Speaking of Disney, this is also, this was probably my best sale for this cha-ching, was that Mr. Christmas Mickey's clock shop animated Christmas decoration. That sold for $99.99 and Eric actually found this at a yard sale. I think we paid $3 or $4 for it, so practically nothing. That one did really, really well. So definitely Mr. Christmas items can sell really well, and also that being Disney I think kind of helped that as well. I feel like I'm saying as well a lot and I apologize. Alright, next we have a troll doll. So these troll dolls are not your average troll dolls. These ones are by TH Dam. They're marked on the bottom of their foot and they were from the 70s. And these are also really tall. They are goodness gracious, like 16 to 18 inches. I can't remember off the top of my head how tall they are, but just much larger troll dolls than, you know, your average little troll doll. This sold for $99.99. I got this, well, I won this at an auction. I'm no longer going to mention how much I paid for these troll dolls, and you'll be seeing these in upcoming cha-chings because I've been winning these troll dolls at the auction, it feels like every week. But there's other people who are bidding on them, and you know, at the auction there's a lot of resellers there, like a ton of resellers. So if they go on eBay and look up these troll dolls, they're seeing my troll dolls that I've sold selling and what they're selling for. So to say like what I won something at, they could easily figure out like what my highest bid would have been, kind of thing. And I don't want them to know that because then obviously I'll start getting outbid on these trolls. I guess it's a little bit of paranoia, but funnily, I just these words that come out of my mouth, I feel like Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, like just making up words. Funny enough, a lot I wouldn't say a lot, but there's a decent amount of people that go to the auctions that I know their eBay names, and I have them saved, and I look at what they're buying, and I'm looking at what their stuff is selling for, not just out of sheer curiosity because I'm nosy, because I am nosy, but also it's teaching me as well some stuff that like I don't know about, so to keep my eyes peeled for those things. So since it's so easily for me to find them, it's just as easy for them to find me. So if any of you guys are watching, hi, say hi to me while we're at the auction. I like making friends. But yeah, but I don't want to say what I'm paying for. I wanted to say funnily enough again, but funny enough, one of the times I was at the auctioneer said, you don't have friends at the auction, or no one at the auction is your friend, because, you know, you're bidding against other people, and it's, you know, slightly competitive, well, highly competitive. So, I just, you know, I think that's funny. But from here on out, sorry for the long ramble about these troll dolls, but I'm not going to tell you guys what I spent on them. But just know that I made, you know, a decent enough profit that I'm willing to keep buying them. Next we have a vintage picture. I don't normally get into vintage pictures and stuff like that, but I found this one at I think it was a fill-a-bag rummage sale, and a part of me just wanted to rescue it, kind of thing, because I didn't know where it was gonna go after the sale, like if it would have went into the trash or something like that if no one else had picked it up. So I wanted to save it, and I did list it, and it did sell for $19.99, so that's great. I don't know if the person who bought it just buys vintage pictures, or if there was, like, you know, someone in that picture that they might have known or anything like that. I don't know the history specifically behind it, but it did go to somebody, and I felt better for saving it. Next we have a vintage from 1976 Star Wars book that sold for $14.99, and I won this at an auction. It was in a box full of books, and I won the whole box of books for just $1, and there was only 2 books in there that I was like really interested in, and those 2 books did sell. They'll be in an upcoming CHING. But then I was selling other books that were in there that I didn't even really know were going to be worth anything. Like those strawberry shortcake books were in there, and I sold those for like, what, like $40 some. So, and then this book was in there as well. And then I still have some other books from that box of books to list. Next we have a pair of Crocs. These ones were more like a sandal. They were in a style called Isabella. They were really pretty. I liked them, and I like Crocs. I have 2 pairs myself, but just like the regular kind. These sold for $25.99, and I picked these up at, I believe I bought them at Goodwill, or no, I think these came from a yard sale. I can't remember now. I honestly can't remember, and I apologize for that. Next we have a coffee mug. This one sat for a while, but interestingly enough, I didn't say funnily enough, the coffee mug was actually made in the UK, and that's where it went back to. It did go GSP, and I'm pretty sure it went to the UK, but it had 2 like cartoonish looking witches on it, and it said the Witch's Brew. That sold for $17.99. And like I said, I had that for a while, and I can't remember off the top of my head where I got it. I probably got it at Goodwill, so it was probably like 99 cents or $1.99. Alright, I have another troll doll that I sold. This one was really awesome, and it's probably why it sold for more than the other one. This one had on bib overalls, so it was like a boy troll, and it had, I remember its ears were also pointy, which was a little bit different as well. And he sold for $128.50. But again, not gonna tell you what I paid for him. Sorry, guys. We have a pair of TORRID skinny jeans that sold for $29.99. These I think I got from a yard sale. I probably paid $3 or $4 for them. Normally when I find Torrid, it's at the thrift store, but I'm pretty sure because these had a raw hem at the bottom cuffs, and I think I got those at a yard sale. Next is a vintage WINDMERE massager. This sold for $49.99. I actually sold this same exact massager before in the past, so I knew that it was worth money. I won this at the auction for, I'd say, less than $5. So if you ever come across this specific WINDMERE massager, I think it's called the Prelude something. I mean, you'll see it in the picture. But yeah, that's the second one I've come across, and I've sold them both times, and you'll get about $50 for them. Next was a mug by Paul Eshelman. I came across, it was a set of 4 of these at a yard sale, and I've sold every single one. I don't think I have any more left. I think I sold all of them. This sold for $29.99. So I think that's what I was getting for each mug. So that was great. Next was an A&A tank top that sold for $12.99. I picked this up at a yard sale. I think I paid like $1 for it. And I purchased it for myself, but I hate my body and I didn't like how I looked in it. So I decided to list it. Next we have, this one was a really awesome sale. This was a vintage Eden plush teddy bear. It said "My First Christmas" on it. Got this at a yard sale for $0.25, 25 cents. Sold it for $49.99. Definitely keep your eyes out on vintage Eden plushes, especially the ones that are made out of this like terrycloth kind of material. Some of them can do really, really well. So I found that like mixed in with some like dog toys, which I don't know if the person who was selling it like had given it to their dog at some point. Like there wasn't anything wrong with it. But it just made me wonder, because like, you know, I've given stuffed animals to my dog that she didn't play with. She would just, you know, I just lay them in her little bed with her and stuff like that. And oh my God, I miss my dog, and I don't even forget I mentioned anything about my dog. Okay, next we have a Sunday Riley. This was a Good Genes lactic acid skincare cream that sold for $39.99, and I got like a set of this Sunday Riley skincare at the yard sale, and what did I pay for that? I feel like I might have paid $7 for it. It had 3 different skincare creams inside. I kept one. I kept like a serum, and then I sold this one, and then I still have like a small jar of another one listed. So that right there paid for the set, and I made profit. Next we have a Longaberger Cat's Meow little wooden decorative piece that sold for $7.99. That came from a thrift store. I probably paid $1 for it, potentially 50 cents for that. A New Kids on the Block lot of puzzles. Those sold for $19.99. Got these at a yard sale. I'm pretty sure I paid 75 cents a piece for them. I did put them together, and I think that there were, one was complete, and I think the other 2 were missing pieces, and they still, you know, sold. So that's awesome. Next was a 3-piece vintage Tupperware canister set. I think this went to a subscriber. That sold for $28, and I got that at a yard sale for $1. Another Torrid piece that sold was this coral colored lattice sleeve top. It had these like cutouts down the sleeves. That sold for $22.99, and that probably came from the thrift store. So I'd say I spent about $4 to $5 on it. A set of vintage Disneyland salt and pepper shakers. I think these went to a subscriber as well. Those sold for $12.99, and I got them at a yard sale for $1. Next item I also think went to a subscriber. These were the vintage Napco Santa and Mrs. Claus. They were the spaghetti trim little candle huggers for taper candles. Those sold for $17.99, and I got those at a yard sale, and I think those were also $1. All right, the next 3 items went to the same person. I know this was a GSP order. I don't know if it was a subscriber or not. They purchased a vintage Moondreamers polar bear toy for $29.99. They also purchased another vintage Moondreamers. This one was a lion, also sold for $29.99. And I got both of those at a yard sale, and I think I paid either $1/4 a piece for them or 50 cents a piece. And then they also won a vintage My Little Pony Bush Woolly for $19.99. This Bush Woolly belonged to my aunt, so she is getting some of that money. So that's everything for this cha-ching, and you guys know at the end of the video I talk about any kind of problems that have arisen. So within this cha-ching, as I was going down through everything, there was one cancellation. Someone, I think, placed a bid on the CROCS sandals that I showed, and then they wanted to cancel their purchase, but then someone else purchased them. And then there were 2 people who didn't pay for their items that they won. So I had 2 non-paying bidders within these items, and 1 cancellation. So not crazy, but again, there's still issues with non-paying bidders. I'm still having issues with non-paying bidders, and I quite frankly feel like it's not going to end anytime soon. I don't know why there is such an uptick with non-paying bidders, but there is. And then the only other thing I can think of that I was having problems with recently, and still kind of am, I sold, and this isn't in a cha-ching yet, but I sold that vintage Tina Turner jacket that I won at an auction. So before this person ever purchased the jacket, I remember they were asking like a million questions, and typically 99%, I would say 99.9% of the time, when you have someone asking a gazillion questions, they're going to be a problematic buyer. Like, I've been selling for a lot of years now, and it definitely holds true. Like, it just, if you have a buyer questioning things, like so many things beforehand, they're just going to be an issue. So right away, like, the red flags were going up, like, oh gosh, and here they won the item. I remember I was watching like the tracking on it, and for whatever reason it was supposed to arrive the one day, and it didn't, and they were asking me where it was, and it's like, hold up, like, I have no control over your post office. I have no control over any of that. If you didn't receive it that day, you're gonna have to talk to your post office or your postal, whoever delivers your mail, and to ask them why you didn't get it that day. Like, I'm not gonna have any idea why it wasn't delivered. So the next day comes, and it did say, like, when I checked the tracking, that they were going to try the next business day. The next business day comes, they still didn't get the item. So I'm thinking, like, great, I'm going to have an issue with this package. Is it lost? Like, where is it? Why didn't the buyer get it yet? And of course, each day they're messaging me asking where the item is. So I tried to look up the phone number to their post office, but it was only, there's no number to the post office. It's only like the generalized USPS phone number. So I called it in hopes that maybe I could get through to someone to, like, kind of try and figure something out. But it's all pre-recorded messages. You can't actually talk to a human being, so that was like a dead end. So I looked up, while I was looking up their post office, I was reading reviews on their post office, and they had 3 one-star reviews just within the past day that I had, you know, that I was looking at the reviews. And they were all saying the same things, that, like, you know, was having problems with this person's package. Saying that, I forget exactly what it said, like no delivery was available or something along those lines. So I put in, like, I started a lost package kind of claim on the USPS website, and the very next day it was delivered. They received it, but, and here's where it gets really good, because it wasn't good before. They weren't happy with the jacket. They said it didn't fit, that it fit like, the jacket was an extra large. They said it fit like an extra small, which is not the case at all, because it's just not. It was an adult size extra large. I had the measurements clearly in the description. Like, there was nothing else I could really do. So they weren't happy, and they decided to open a return. They wanted to return it. So I knew before this person even bought the item that they were going to be a problem and that the item was going to get returned. So I should have blocked them from the get-go, but I didn't, because I like giving everyone the benefit of the doubt. That's the kind of person that I am. I try to see the best in everybody and hope that, you know, they have good intentions and there's nothing sketchy or anything like that. But they wanted to return the item, and I was like, whatever, accept the return, just, I'm ready to block this person by now. So the very next, I don't know if it was the next day or like a couple hours later, they leave me feedback. A positive feedback saying they loved the jacket. Okay, so they have until June 22nd. What is today? Today is June 13th. And this has already been like a couple of days have gone by since, you know, they wanted to return it. So they have until June 22nd to send the jacket back, if they're even going to, which I don't even think they're going to at this point. But in the meantime, that money that I got for that jacket is on hold, because anytime a return is opened, your money is put on hold. So you can't access that money at all until, you know, the return is complete, or until June 22nd. If they don't send the item back, then eBay will release the funds back to me, since they failed to return the item. But it's just so aggravating, so incredibly aggravating, that I have to wait that long to even access that money since it's on hold. And this person wants to open the return and then decides, oh, well, no, you know, I changed my mind. I love the jacket. Not going to return the item. At least I don't think they are. I mean, who knows? As of just yesterday when I checked, it still, you know, didn't show anything like tracking as far as the return goes. And I paid for the shipping label to have them send it back. But, you know, like, if they don't ship it, I will get reimbursed for, you know, the shipping label. So it's just one of those things where it's like, it's such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. It's like, I feel like they knew what they were doing from the beginning, and now it's just a game, because they know that my funds are going to be on hold until this ungodly day in the future. Do you know what I mean? So that's like the most aggravating thing that's been happening recently. So you guys have to let me know down in the comments if you feel the same way, as far as people who ask 800 million questions before they purchase an item. How many times, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, like, times have people like that been a problem for you in the long run? I'm just curious, because I know I asked that question on one of the eBay groups on Facebook, and like, everyone completely agreed 100% that it is a definite red flag, and keep your eye out for people like that, because I'd say 9 times out of 10 that they are or will be a problem for you as a buyer. So that's everything for this cha-ching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You have to let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will see you next time.